Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for July. Hope everybody is well. I will take a quick second, Taurus, to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Taurus out there, so take what resonates for you, leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that in a general reading, the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, get in where you fit in, but as always, Taurus, please don't try to force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Taurus? Taurus. Taurus. All right, Taurus, you are starting out with the Lovers in the reverse. You have the Seven of Cups reversed, and you have the Wise Old Man reversed. Okay, so the Wise Old Man in this deck is the same as the Emperor. With the Seven of Cups in the reverse, I feel like you may feel that you're kind of running out of options here. There's a sense here of an ending. I see an ending, and I'm also seeing you feeling like you're running out of options, but yet you're not taking action. There's a sense of inaction. There's something here that has spiraled out of control, and you feel that you're out of options, but you're kind of not moving. You're not taking the action to handle this. I do feel like you've either made a choice in love, or there's something to do about a choice in love that you've made. You've made a choice here, but I also see that there's an ending. So let's see who's in your energy. Show me who is in Taurus energy. Show me who is in Taurus energy. There's something karmic about whatever is taking place. It's a karmic lesson or a karmic cycle here that you're experiencing. Show me who is in Taurus energy. Show me who is in Taurus energy, please. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have Justice. And coming out together is the Five of Cups reversed along with the King of Pentacles. Okay, so the person that's in your energy, they're closing out some kind of a cycle here. Something that was cyclical. It could be like a karmic cycle, because I see that this is what you're kind of caught up in. But this person is definitely closing out a cycle so that a new cycle can begin. This is somebody who is asking for karmic justice. You could be dealing with a Libra. I'm also seeing Taurus, another Taurus, a Virgo, or Capricorn. But I do feel like this is somebody who is asking for karmic justice. They're coming out of some kind of cycle here. They're beginning a new cycle, possibly with you. And I do feel like this person is at some point they grieved the loss of this connection, but now they're starting to say, well, maybe there's hope in this situation, because this is somebody who went through grief. They went through sadness, and now it was regarding you. And now they're coming out and they're like, maybe that cycle is over. Maybe there's a chance to add a new beginning in love. Maybe there's still love that's here. So let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. This person believes that there is a possibility at love between the two of you. Show me. There it is. The Fairy Godmother. Interesting. It is in reverse. Yeah, it is in reverse. That is the Empress in the reverse in this deck. So I do feel like, you know, this relationship failed because you may have had your attention elsewhere, and this person, after a period of time and a period of sadness, said, I can't do this anymore. I'm letting this go. So neither of you were nurturing this connection. It does appear that the fall time frame may have had some importance to this as well. Let me see what's affecting this connection, because right now I don't think that either of you are nurturing the connection still. Four of Cups. Yeah, there's a sense here of not really valuing this connection. Or at least in the past, there's been a lack of valuing the connection. It could be at this point that you're both starting to say, well, maybe there's an opportunity here. See, I feel like you had a lot of options, Taurus, and I feel like now you feel that you've run out of all these options. So let me see. And that's why this person is asking for justice in the situation. They feel that you ignored them. They feel like you didn't value, the connection. So let me see the outcome at the end of the week between Taurus and this person. Four of Swords. Yeah, you're taking a break still from one another. Yeah, there's a period of rest. See, you're not taking charge of the situation, and this person, I feel like they're just checking to see, is it possible? Does Taurus actually have the feelings for me? Because I feel like this person was extremely hurt here in the past. And I feel like they kind of put their heart on ice. I feel like when it came to you, they put their heart on ice. They just weren't willing to risk anything for a while. There's a coldness that is still in this person's demeanor. And it's because of, the past. It's because of wondering, does Taurus actually have feelings? Can they value the connection? Do they value what I'm bringing to the table? This person wants justice for the way they feel that you treated them in the past. And I feel like you're aware of that. I do. I feel like you're aware of that. Because you're not confused. You were, but I feel like there's no longer any confusion. So, but I don't see you actually taking any action in the situation, and that's what's leading to this break between the two of you, and also a lack of communication that is desperately needed. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. You could be dealing with a Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius, but this as an underlying energy indicates that there's just a lack of action that's taking place right now. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Lovers in reverse for Taurus? Yeah, I feel like you may have chosen someone over this person. So here we have it again, the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Very likely that you're dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. They could just have strong fire in their chart. And then we have Judgment in the reverse. So poor judgment was used in this situation. I do feel like you may have chosen someone else over this person. I don't feel like you're nurturing the connection even now. You're not taking any proactive action. And I do feel like you're questioning whether or not you want to reconcile with this person. Why is the Seven of Cups in reverse? Yeah, you left this person out in the cold. And I feel like you're in a period of chaos now that you're unable to get out of. You've realized here, Taurus, that you're not really moving forward in the things that you want. I do feel like at this point, you're realizing you may have feelings for this person, but you just don't know if you want to reconcile or not. I'm also seeing here that you may have felt abandoned. You may have, if you move towards someone else, it's very likely that you felt that person abandoned you. That you were giving them unconditional love, and they kind of left you out in the cold. And I don't feel like you're over that. I don't feel like you're over that at all, Taurus. I feel like there's some sort of chaos here. It has to do with a lack of options. It has to do with feeling abandoned or leaving someone else out in the cold. But you're unable to escape this chaos. All right, so let me see the bottom energy. Why is the Emperor in reverse? 4 of Coins. Yeah, you're still holding on to this person. You're not taking any action towards them, but you're still holding on to them, and you are coming back towards them, but not right now. Right now, so yeah, some of you could be stuck in some financial issues as well. You're definitely, you know, in this situation where you've made some very poor judgment calls, and it's causing you to freeze up, Taurus. It's causing you to, you know, not want to act at all. And that's one of the reasons why things have spun out of control. You're very guarded right now. You're very, very guarded. I do feel like you are planning to come back towards this person because you are still holding on to them. Let's look at their energy. Why is the Wheel here for the person in Taurus energy? Yeah, see, Justice in reverse. They feel that they've been wronged. And the High Priestess. This person wants to put an end to any secretive behavior. They want to put an end to any kind of behavior that, you know, that they felt wronged or was unbalanced here. I do feel like this is somebody who is moving in silence. They're a very intuitive person. You could be dealing with a Libra. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. But this person is not nurturing the connection right now. They're moving in silence. They don't have a lot to say. And they're highly intuitive. So they want to close out this soul cycle where they feel hurt, where they feel like it was unbalanced, where they feel like they were not treated properly. Why is Justice here? They're asking for karmic justice because they feel that they have been treated unjustly. Yeah, they don't want to fight. They're avoiding conflict. But they feel like you walked away from this connection and broke their heart, that you betrayed them, and that the betrayal wasn't even necessarily just with the walking away. It was in the lack of appreciation of what they were bringing to the table. So this was a very painful breakup for this person. And I feel like at this point, they're avoiding conflict, they're moving in silence, and they're asking for karmic justice for what was done. They want to close this chapter out. It's been very painful. Let me see the bottom energy. Show me the bottom energy for the person in Taurus energy. Okay, so we have the 8 of Pentacles, we have the 7 of Swords, and we have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So this is tying directly into what is affecting the connection. And what's affecting this connection is this person feels discounted. They feel like you did not recognize what they were bringing to the table. They didn't feel like you were bringing your best self to the table. And they're trying to learn the lessons from this and move forward. But they never again want to feel the sadness that they felt. They felt like there was deception, that you weren't being honest and upfront with them. This is somebody that kind of retreated into, you know, their own silence. They retreated into work. I feel like this person works a lot, and I feel like this is somebody that kind of put a ring of ice around their heart because they did not want to experience that pain ever again. So now they're asking for karmic justice in the situation. And they're looking at the details of everything that's happened between the two of you. Let me see, show me the energy between Taurus and this person. Temperance. And the Emperor. Okay. All right. So this person's going to take charge of the situation with regard to themselves. They do not like feeling the way they're feeling. So they're going to take charge of this. Like I said, this person has been working very hard. This person may own a business or be a high-level manager. They're extremely intuitive, though. and they're going to take charge of everything in order to get their justice here. They want to close this cycle out, and they're going to do whatever it takes to do that. I also feel like you could be doing a lot of praying. I feel like you want to heal this connection, Taurus. I feel like you feel that you moving in another direction was a poor judgment call for you. But there's a sense here of praying, but yet not taking the action. You could be a little resentful about some things as well, but I'm not sure it's with this person. It may be with somebody from the past. Neither of you are currently, nourishing or building this connection. I do feel like you are being protected. I feel like you're doing a lot of praying with regard to this situation as well as other things. Let me see why the Four of Cups is here. The person in your energy, Taurus, they're kind of bossing up. They've realized that if they're going to be successful, they're going to have to do it on their own. So, and I do have to say, I like that they're not waiting for somebody to come and save them. They're like, no, I'm going to handle my own. Page of Pentacles. And the Ace of Swords. So I like this. You're bringing clarity to this situation. I do feel like you are beginning to understand the gift of love that was in this connection. And that this person is still extending themselves to you. So they're offering you some kind of a gift here. It's very small, but I feel like you're starting to get it. You're starting to understand that, this is a gift. You're getting the clarity. That's a fresh start. That's communication. It's a fresh start. So that all of that's going to affect this connection. I feel like you're beginning to appreciate the connection, and this person is, it looks like, working on forgiveness. Let me see why the Four of Swords is here. Yeah, that's balance. That's balance. Six of Coins. Seven of Swords reverse. Seven of Coins. So balance is coming back into this connection after a break. After taking a break, and that break may have included a lack of communication, a lot of healing. I do feel like you're freeing yourself from something that it's been very difficult for you to walk away from, but you are freeing yourself from whatever this is. And I do feel that, it's something you've been holding on to hard. Now, for some of you, there's financial issue here. But I see you being free from that. If it's financial, your finances are going to slowly improve. But I feel like you're freeing yourself from a situation. You're walking away from something that you've been holding on to that has literally been making you feel like a victim. Something you were reluctant to take charge of. I do see that you're gaining in your spirituality here. I do feel like you're going to get clarity. It's going to come about through something that this person says to you is going to give you that clarity. It's going to help you, I feel like, to get unstuck, to free yourself. I do see balance coming back into this connection. And this person is willing to invest. They're very patient. They're being very, very patient. I do feel like they think about you a lot, but they're looking at everything. And they are going to be willing to invest as long as it's an equal and balanced give and take. If they feel like it's not, they're going to pull away from it. So, bottom of the deck, wow, look at that. It's the Ten of Coins. Your money is going to continue to improve. It also indicates as an underlying energy that you are moving towards something that is long-term. And whatever this is, you can have it all. You can have the money. You can have the family. You can have the love. The Ten of Coins is known as the everything card. So, but you're going to have to free yourself from something you've been holding on to here, okay? All right, so I'm going to pull from the oracles, pulling for Taurus. And you know, for different people, it's going to be different things. Whatever it is that you find yourself holding on to, unwilling to let go of, unwilling to like move into that action-oriented energy, that's what you're going to have to release. That's what you're going to have to let go of. And it's going to be different for different people. Pulling for Taurus. There we go. Number 27, Road Warriors. Okay, so give me a second and I am going to read that for you. All right, Taurus, it says, take a leap of faith. This is talking about change and trust, vision, bravery, and achievement. It says, I imagine this daring duo as brave Mad Max type characters about to make an epic journey of a lifetime through an inhospitable desert landscape in search of fertile land and a new home. They aren't sure what awaits them on their journey, but they have confidence in the preparations that they've made and the skills that they possess. Taking a leap of faith involves stepping outside of your comfort zone with the belief that you can make big changes to improve your situation and life. These changes may involve new locations or a shift in your personal or professional life. A leap of faith requires a belief in yourself, a trust in the vision of what you're aiming to achieve, and a willingness to face the fear. That's you freeing yourself from whatever you're holding on to down here, Taurus. All right, and then we have a quote here from Ray Bradbury. It says, jump off the cliff and learn how to make wings on the way down. Wow, so there's a risk here. There's a risk in, you know, whatever this is that you're freeing yourself, whatever you're walking away from, that you're having such a hard time walking away from, take the risk, Taurus, because it's going to bring you a much more balanced and better life. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you, Taurus. If you have resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. And until I see you in your next reading, Taurus, know that you are loved, and namaste.